Assalamualaikum and very good day everyone. I'm Yusmadi from University Putra Malaysia. So for today I would like to share my knowledge on the first part, which is Introduction to Research Methodology. Right, so this is me. Okay, my name is Binti Jusoh. I'm the head of Applied Informatic Research Group at the Department of Software Engineering and Information System, Faculty of Computer Science and Information Technology, University Putra Malaysia. After the recording, if you have any question, you may email to me at yusmadi@upm.edu.my. Before I move further, I would like to share our university, right? So University Putra Malaysia is in 123 ranking of the year for this year 2023 in the world university ranking, and we are the second university in Malaysia. So this is some of the picture I would like to share to you, our university, and we are research university in Malaysia, and we are not only teaching but also we are focusing on the research as well. This is my research group. We are a small group, but however we are really active in the research, and we are also committed to our research student. So we are instead of we have teaching and research, we are also collaborating with other university, for example National University of Malaysia and other related university. There are also pictures here of our departments, Department of Software Engineering and Information System as well. Right, so for today, Introduction to Research Methodology, I would like to give two main points here, which is what is research and step in conducting research. And this is mainly for those who are newborn or would like to know what is research, and for master's students, and also for those who are conducting research on their PhD. Okay. So what is research actually? Okay. So before that, research is creating new knowledge, right? So it's mentioned by Neil Armstrong, and creating new knowledge is the contribution itself for what call the knowledge on the particular field of study. So on creating new knowledge is something we are contributing to the not only to the knowledge itself, but also to the society and also the community building. So in the university, we are mainly on that part. Okay. I usually ask the student, okay, are you ready in terms of preparing yourself to be a researcher? Okay, when you are doing research, means that you are part of the research team. Okay. So in preparing to be a researcher is something which is we need not only on your mindset, but also to be able to perform the tasks required by your supervisor, required by your subordinates, or even your management. Okay, so before that, I would like to share to you the up and down. Okay, when we are conducting or to be a researcher. Okay, so if you are a PhD or master students, okay, after meeting your supervisor, you may happy because you are already meeting with your supervisor. Or even if as a researcher also, we need to publish papers. So in publishing the papers, okay, sometimes paper are accepted, paper are rejected. Okay, and when accepted, of course we are happy, but when they are rejected and many comments, we need to do something with that. Okay, you need also to do other things. For example, experiments, okay? Data collections, or even attending lecture. Okay? So all these represent the way of life to be a researcher. So here I give some example. This is usually what I did, which is, okay, we give examples and then we see how your understanding about research. Okay? So here, like first one, Mr. Sam prepared a paper on computer usage in secondary school after reviewing the literature on the subject available on his university and call it a piece of research. Okay, a very quick one. Okay. Second one, okay, Mr. Mann says that he has researched and complete a document which gives information about the age of his students, their results, okay, their parents' income and distance of their school from the district officer. So they are represent in terms of some information given there, right? Right. Number 3, okay, Ms. Lin participated in a workshop on curriculum development and prepared what she calls a research report on the curriculum for building technicians. She did this through a literature survey on the subject and by discussing with the participants of the workshop. So this is 3 scenarios represent different environment, different topics, okay, and also relate to some information given. Okay, so my question is that are these 3 can be classified as research? Are these able to classify up to the what they call standards as a research? Okay, so with these 3, okay, some of you may answer yes, some of you may answer no, right? So I just conclude this one, which is none is actually those examples are classified under research. Okay, why? Okay, because when you have understood the concept of research later, you will know and you can justify. Okay, so maybe at the end later, you can refer back to this one and then you will know why, the reason why. Okay, so another example of research, okay, a bit longer here. Okay, a manager, right, okay, concerned about the complaint from the car users, for example, very simple environment or a life scenario, right? So this general manager, okay, so concerned with the complaint received from the car users that the car they produce have some problem, and then from there, okay, he obtained information from the company workers to identify the factors. Okay. Third point, formulated problems and generated guess, okay, and then construct checklists, obtain requisite information from the representative on the sample of cars, and then he do the data analysis. So this is some of, if you go from first until the 5th point there, okay, you will see that you will detected that there are some activities related from the first one until the end. Okay, so I did put in what we call in red color there. Okay, right, concerned with the complaint received. Okay, obtain information, formulated. Okay, then construct and analysis. Okay, so we have 5 main activities, which is for this particular example, right? So from this example, we can see that there are a few sequence of steps there, okay, to come up with the answers or the result. Okay, so and then possibly as a researcher, when we are talking about researcher in the academic environment, okay, we are talking also in terms of the scientific methods. Okay, example just now is very simple one. Okay, and then the 2 important characteristics of research, which is what we call systematic, okay, from one step to another, and also the scientific methods that you applied for the research. Right, so in terms of that, okay, definition of research, okay, can be, in general, can be divided into 3, we are hunting for the facts or truth about the subject. Okay, we have a particular issues related or problems related that we are trying to solve. Okay, and then the second one, organized scientific investigation. Okay, which is we are using the scientific methods or approach. Okay, and number three, okay, when we already have the what they call the data, the experiment conducted, and then from there we need to have in terms of the answer. Okay, we need to answer. Okay, how does it happen? Why does it happen? And other things. Right. So yeah, I'm giving what you call definition in terms of that. What is research? Okay, it's a systematic, as mentioned just now, and the systematic steps or flow actually is can be organized in a logical orders. Okay, and the step here possibly can be in a way of in general is more or less the same as mentioned here. Okay, 5 main steps. The first one, understand the nature of the problems. Okay, we want to understand. Okay, well, it's not only understand, but first is what is the nature of problems, or what are the problems actually. The problem itself give us motivation, give us what they call a way in terms of to understand. Okay, how does it happen and how it happens. Okay, so identifying it related to the area of knowledge. Okay, so second is review literature. So once we have the problem, we should review the literature. Literature here means that in terms of the written or reported in the academic writing. Okay, mainly on the academic writing. So literature here means in the way of we need to also study the other researcher have conducted previously relate to the problem that we are under study. Right, that is on review literature. Okay, and then the third one, collecting data or conducting experiment. So this is in a way of to do some organized and controlled manner to arrive at valid decision. So on collecting data or conducting experiment, then we produce collection of data. Those collection of data we are going to have and analyze, and those analyze hopefully come up with a certain answer or result. Okay, and number 5, drawing conclusion. So drawing conclusion and make generalization in a way of based on the result of data analysis that we have done. So of course we need to have high quality research, right? Because that is our contribution to the knowledge. Okay, so in academic world, producing a high quality research, hopefully it will contribute not only to the knowledge but also in terms of the practitioner. Practitioner here means that for the life being, okay, for the on solving the problem, and it will benefit others. Okay, so it can be replicated in terms of, let's say, conducted in Malaysia, and then we want to see how does it give impact to others in Kazakhstan, for example, and from there we may possibly have a different result. Okay. Second one, generalization to other settings. Okay, because other setting here means the other factors that may influence for in terms of the result after we have our particular findings. Okay. So bad research is that something also we don't want to be happen. Right. In the academic, what we hope is that our contribution, right? So on the contribution itself, plagiarism is something which is cannot be done, okay, or falsifying data. That's why when we have the publication, usually the editors or the publisher will ask us in terms of the data, because they want to have proof. Either we have the data itself, and then we do on our own. Okay, that is one of the proof. And the last point, mispresenting information and misleading participants is where also is not acceptable, because what we did is that the information which we already planned properly, and it should be done right, on very importantly to see in terms of the scientific method being organized very nice and proper, okay, the right way. Okay, so this is just to give summary. So the problem identification, review literatures, data collection, make the data analysis, and draw the contribution. Right, so where do I begin? So as a researcher, sometimes we are a bit lost. Okay, what should I do first? Okay, what can I do? Sometimes the students, especially, they will go for their supervisor. That is the good way, and or do a readings. Okay, to get some information about their area or the scope of their study. So it can be any part of here. Okay, for example, asking the question. Okay, asking the question can something which is come from ourselves, and the question will be searched through variety of way. Okay, can be through the literature. Okay, by reading journals, by reading research papers, by reading books. And asking the question also can be through the expert. Okay, you can identify who are the expert in your own area, and then from there you can communicate with them. There are many channels nowadays that you can use. For example, you can use LinkedIn, the other social medias like for ResearchGate for the researcher, and with that you may have some answers, and those answers will be more and more from time to time, right? And identifying the important factors, right? This is also very important, because once we have the answer, we know what is actually the problems, okay? And then we identify what are the important factors that contribute to that problems, okay? And then formulate the hypothesis as something which is the assumption. Okay, and collecting information, right? Testing the hypothesis with the data collection, okay, and then reconsider the theory here means that maybe some of your related factors that I mentioned just now is related to certain theories from other researcher that was highlighted before. Okay, so you may reconsider the theories as a part of your contribution. And from there, okay, you can give your findings from that particular study. Okay, so why do we need research? Okay, very clear, very what you call is in the university is very important for us, because like to get PhD, okay, doing masters, or even nowadays in the curriculum, on the education curriculums, research also being embedded or being included in the degrees or bachelor syllabus to provide solution to complex problem. It's not only in the university but also in other areas or sectors or organization, because complex problem here, because they have to get the solution. What's the problem? For example, just now about the cars, okay, problems about the car. So we need to know what is the problems, what are the factors give that kind of problems, right? To investigate laws of nature, to make new discoveries, to develop new products, to save costs. So there are many ways, I would say, many factors why we are conducting the research. Nowadays, big company, they already contribute a big amount of money, okay, for the research and development, R&D. Why? Because they need to do research to understand about their problems. Okay. Okay, so conducting research can be in terms of this one, okay, as I mentioned just now. Very brief on this step in conducting research. Okay, selecting and defining a problem. As I mentioned just now, state the problem in specific terms. Okay, what's the problem? And then you can derive the hypothesis. And from there, you need to derive hypothesis, and from there you can able to put in a more structured manner what are those problems. And the second is methodology of research. This is very important. Okay, methodology of research, which is to guide in terms of conducting the research. Okay, and methodology of research also, we should conduct the scientific method that we use. Okay, so what are the scientific method we use? So methodology here means you put in your research activities. What are your research activities? Okay, start with what and then until what. Okay, so on this methodology of research, okay, identifying the method of research. For example, let's say you're conducting literature review. What are the method you use for your literature review? Okay, if you're analyzing the data, what are the data you are used for your what method you use for your data analysis? Okay, if you conduct experiment, detail on your experiment, how it can be conducted, who are involved in your experiment, what are the step of your experiment and other things, right? Okay, collecting data. Okay, who are your respondent if you're collecting data for the experiment? What are the experimental setting? So it should be very clear, because that will guide you in terms of conducting your research, especially, and also after that collecting data. Okay, and interpreting result, which is you need to interpret your result, because what data or experiment you have, you should analyze to come up with the result. Okay, and those results need to be summarized, need to be reported. So the report here, or this analysis here, sometimes you can use statistical method. Okay, we can use certain tools to do the data analysis, because sometimes data are very big, very large, and then we have to get some help from the data analysis tools. Next is on the so that is the one, and then with the result itself, then hopefully we can do some discussion. So the discussion is in terms of to get the conclusion and to come up with the findings, and those findings need to be reported. Okay, so it can be on your research report, or even you can share to the academic on your publications, share to the other researcher. Okay, because that is part of your contribution as well. Okay, so this is the research in a cyclic process. So it is a systematic and cyclic process. Okay, so with that, thank you so much for watching the videos.